All right, guys, we are back. Sorry about that. We're just trying to make sure the connection is right for tonight, because tonight is going to be fire. So, guys, come on back in. Come on in. Do me a favor and share. Apologize. I just want to make sure the sound is right. We had a really bad echo, so we needed to start all the way back over again. Guys, thank you. Do me a favor, LaShondra. Make sure to reshare this over into the Coinology group. If you guys can please share. Let me try to get Stormy back on. But do you guys hear?
Hey, Stormy.
Am I clear now?
Yeah, it sounds much better.
All right. Technology is unpredictable. How about that?
I know it. I'm so glad that you are. You guys do me a favor. Share. All right. Everybody do me a favor and share. Okay, so tonight, y'all, we have a very special Facebook Live. I am so super excited about tonight. Our Saturday keynote speaker is none other than Miss Stormy Wellington, okay? I was so very honored when she accepted the invitation to come to the EPI conference, the 2019 EPI conference, and serve as our keynote speaker for this year. And when she accepted to come on tonight and talk a little bit more about her journey, I was even more elated. So I'm so glad that she's here. You guys are going to learn a lot. I have learned so much from just sitting back and watching Stormy over the years. It's not only what she says, but watching her actions. Someone said it's a really bad echo. Let me try my earbuds and make sure. Let's see.
You want me to put on my earbuds as well?
Do you have any earbuds?
Stormy?
1 minute.
Okay, let's try yours. You guys, while we get set up, please just share. One second, we're just getting everything set up, guys. You guys notice it's about to be fire
anytime we have these type of issues. Oh, it sounds like it's gone away.
How about that? Is that
Can you hear me, Stormy?
better?
That's 100% better for me. You guys, is it good for you? Because I see, is it good for you? If it's good for you, somebody let me know. Yes, good. You can. Okay, so Tawana, I see you said the echo is really bad. Is it gone? Somebody let me know if the echo is gone, because it's good on my end. Okay, much better. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Perfect. Good. Thank you guys for joining. If you guys can, please share to all the different groups. As you guys know, I'm really big on sharing information. Don't have this type of information, don't have this type of setting, and not share it with as many people as possible, because if you don't need it, somebody else out there does. But I think all of us need tonight. As I was saying earlier, I am so extremely excited about tonight. Stormy Wellington is our keynote speaker for Saturday at the EPI conference. And I was so elated and so honored when she agreed to be our speaker for this year. I have learned so much from watching her, not just from what she teaches and what she says, but actually watching her growth over the years, watching her navigate and move. See, I'm a person who studies actions more so than words. And some of the things that she shared in her movements have really, stayed in my mind, and it's just stuck in my cranium. And so I said, you know what? If I'm going to have anybody come to this conference this year, I want it to be somebody who can really teach somebody something, not somebody that's going to regurgitate something they learned in the book, not someone that's going to regurgitate a bunch of theories, but someone who actually understands from a real life journey and real life experiences. And she understands the formula, because she understands the repeatability, how to gain when she loses, how to get it back. See, it's one thing about getting it. It's something else about knowing how to keep getting it back. because that's how you're going to be successful in business. So first, let me just back up a little bit. Stormy, can you tell us a little bit, for the very few people out there who may not know who you are, can you tell us who you are, or just a little bit about you and your background?
Yes, but I think I messed up your my live. Do I look weird on your end? I call myself having a watch party. I think I did it wrong.
No,
You see,
you look great on our. You're good on our end.
Awesome. Okay, I don't know what I did. I did something on my end, but okay, as long as I look good on your end, then let's go. I'm sideways over here. Okay, what was your question? I'm sorry, what was your question?
Can you tell, for those few people up here who may not know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about who you are? Tell us a little bit about who Stormy Wellington is.
Absolutely. First of all, I want to say thank you so much, Ebony, for having me. It is an honor. I don't take it lightly when I get to share a little bit about who I am, because there was a point in my life where I used to say who I was, and so it's no longer who I was, it's who I am. Many people know me as Coach Stormy. My name is actually Stormy Wellington by birth. My story goes very deep. We could be on this phone, this Facebook Live and this phone for hours, but I'll just kind of fast forward to, I believe, the defining moments of my life that made me. First of all, my mom wasn't even going to have me. My mom was on her way to having an abortion. So I oftentimes remind myself that I came in the world in a fight. My mom was 5 months pregnant, literally about to have an abortion, and my dad intervened. I like to say fate stepped in. And so from a little girl, I dealt with turmoil. I dealt with trials and tribulations, from foster care to being abandoned, to being abused, to being molested, to being separated from my mom, my dad. I remember Christmases not knowing if mom was coming to get me. I remember being separated from my brother at 7 years old. I remember having to rescue my brother and I from foster care, not from foster care, from being beaten with water hose, because we used to get abused by the woman that my mom left me with. And so I had a very tumultuous childhood, to the point where I ended up having my first child at the age of 15. My eldest child right now is 23 years old. He's an amazing young man. And after having given birth to him, I got deeper involved in the strip club. I used to be a dancer from the age of 13. My very first experience in the strip club, I was 13 years old. I had to try to make some money to pay my water bill at 13. And so ended up dropping out of school and had my first child. Had my second child by 18. But something happened in my life that really became a turning point for me. I was someone that worked dead-end jobs. I was a TSA agent. I was a customer service agent. I did anything from shoplifting to credit card scamming to all the things that people talk about never being able to rise above. I've been that and been able to rise above. And so I got into network marketing back in 2013, actually 2008, actually. And network marketing absolutely changed my life. Network marketing allowed me to go from zero to hero. And now many people know me as coach. Many people know me as mentor. Many people know me as mother. I have 3 children. I have my fathers. I have 2 fathers. I have my mother who passed away in August 26th of 2011. So, I mean, there's so many peaks and valleys to my life and my story. But I must say that today was the day I woke up and was so blessed. My house is paid off. I've coached 15 families to millionaire status. I have 5 streams of income, 5 businesses, and I'm still not finished. So it's so many valleys and peaks that I could go through to be able to share why I'm so grateful to even be the Stormy Wellington that I am today, because I always was not her.
And one of the things, Stormy, about you that really stood out to me, and I said, you know, this woman is special. Because most people try to make their way through society with all of their degrees and credentials and so forth, and they're not knowing that many times the degrees and credentials put you in a box, because you begin to focus more on those things than versus actually elevating and thinking outside the box. And so one of the things I want to make sure you guys capture with Stormy is that Stormy started dancing at the age of 13, became a teenage mom by the age of 18. But today, Stormy
teenage mom by the age of 15.
At 15, 2 babies by 18.
Yes.
Right. But today, Stormy is one of the world's most successful MLM female leaders. Stormy, one of the things that she showed quite often on her page, and some people don't really understand why people show these things, but Stormy showed She paid for her home completely cash. All right, beautiful home, and she's renovating again. No degrees, right? But Stormy invested in herself. So Stormy, one of the things that I noticed is that you started studying the following and the likes of Tony Robbins. Talk to us a little bit about the importance of investing in yourself. How did that shift your mind from being the teenage mom dancing in the club to being the #1 female MLM network marketer today?
I mean, first of all, I wouldn't be the Stormy Wellington that I am today if I did not go and renew my mind. I mean, from a biblical perspective, the Bible says, do not be transformed by this world, but be transformed by the renewing of the mind. So I renew my mind on every level. I have mentors that don't even know me. I got mentors that are deceased. I spend a lot of time in my mind. I've invested in the last 7 months alone, probably about $200,000 in courses and workshops. And every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I'm going to another workshop to learn something. I believe that coaches and mentors are shortcuts to success. If you want the shortcut to success, why not take somebody else's book? Why not take somebody else's blueprint that has already done what you intend to do or desire to do and learn their strategies? And you may have to tweak them along the way, but why not learn from someone that is already further along? And so I think that unfortunately we have learned that traditional education is the only route. But here I am, a high school dropout with a 9th grade education who went out, and I'm self-taught. I've learned from Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, the late Miles Monroe. I mean, you name it. I mean, I love John C. Maxwell. So I have learned from a lot of people who, all I do, Ebony, is I take bits and pieces of the people that I inspire or aspire to be like. I love TD Jakes, and I learn from them. I glean from them. So if I keep using Stormy mind is that of a welfare recipient. You got to understand, I was on Section 8. I was on welfare. I was a stripper. I was a scammer. I had 2 parents that sold drugs their entire life up until my mom's death. She sold drugs, you know. So if I take on the thoughts and the actions of them, I'm going to be like them. And so I woke up one day and I realized that I have to have a new mind. And in order to have a new mind, I got to learn new things. And so I'm always committed to growth. I would never stop growing. As a matter of fact, if too many days go by that I haven't read a book or listened to an audio, I feel like something is missing from my life. I am addicted to being a better human, being a better person, being a better mother, a better businesswoman, being greater than I currently am. So yes, Tony Robbins, I'm a Tony Robbins Platinum Partner. I invested just $85,000 up front. But by the time I paid for the extra ancillary trips, I've invested $150,000 in his courses alone. And that's just for a year. So yeah, I believe wholeheartedly in growth and personal development.
So let me ask you this, Stormy. I know you probably saw this a lot in the MLM world too. What is it about, especially in the African American community, why do you think that we hesitate on investing in growth and knowledge? Why is it that you think we are afraid to invest in ourselves?
I can tell you exactly why. Number one, we were not taught that. Our parents didn't do it. Our auntie, our grandma, the uncle, the auntie we aspired to be like, we didn't see her reading a book. They either had a bona fide hustle or they had a good job or they went to school. So we become like the people we hang around. We don't know about these things. And so we can only think and make decisions based upon what we were exposed to. So I thought personal development was all hype and motivation. I thought that Tony Robbins just used manipulation and game to get you hype, and you get hype and that's it. I didn't know that there were people in the world that teaches you real life strategies, philosophies. I know how to control my emotions, which is the greatest thing and the greatest power. I know how to control and influence myself. I know how to manage my feelings. I know how to get out of my head and into my life. I know strategies that I could be going through something right here. I mean, from robbery to, something going on with my taxes, anything. I could be going through something right here, things that would cause me to want to go to sleep, give up, and just feel depleted and get discouraged and get depressed. But because of the courses that I've been through, I've learned how to manage the things that could cause me to give up on life. And unfortunately, we were not exposed to that. And so until you get into a place that you say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you recognize that there's a world of people out there becoming millionaires and billionaires. And not that something is wrong with you, but something is missing from you. Then I believe that will be the only time that you'll say, you know what, it's time to make that change. So we just weren't exposed to it. We didn't see it in our household. Nobody that we grew up around did it. So why should I?
And this is the other thing, Stormy. This is one of the things I talk a lot about, is making sure that your environment replicates where you are right now. Some of us struggle with, we are growing, but we're not changing our surroundings, our environment. How important is it that the people that you have around you are on that same frequency that you are?
Oh my God, frequency and the people you hang around are everything. I mean, you become like the people you hang around in consciousness. I don't think we know this, because I just learned this within the last maybe 8 months. When you hang around somebody without you even trying, you begin to take on their thoughts subconsciously. You become consciously. We are all connected in consciousness. You begin kind of like you hang around your girlfriend, and then your cycle comes on. You're like, why my cycle come on? It's like things start to happen based upon the people you hang around. And I'm starting to now become a little bit more compassionate, because everybody, Ebony, can't change the environment. Like, what if your toxic environment is your husband or your wife or your kids? What if your toxic environment is your boss? So I have more compassion these days, because just recently I went into an environment and I stayed in this environment for like 5 days. And I've learned that when you get off of your rituals, or you get into an environment that's not conducive for success, anything past 3 days, it only takes 3 days to like break something that may have possibly permeated you on a level that can create change. I'm talking about a personal trainer could be in the gym for years and then stop working out for 3 days. And by day 4, his muscle mass is gone. So we have to know that you could go somewhere, you could go. That's why people got to go to church on Wednesday and Bible study on Wednesday. I mean, and church on Sunday, because God knows and the kingdom knows you need to keep getting your fix. Because as soon as you go home on Sunday, believe you me, before you can even pull out a parking lot, we all know you're getting a text message, right? We all know something is happening. So very important that you create safe places, even if your home does not have that environment that makes you thrive and feel alive. You got to find places, whether it's in your bathroom, your closet, your car. You got to find little places to make your own sanctuary, your own little tabernacle. And you got to constantly find ways to go there, because you can't always leave those toxic environments, because it may be people that you just can't get away from. So very important.
Right.
I'm blessed that I'm able to get away from my kids. My sister is my nanny. She takes care of my son. He's 5. I have my daughter. She's 19. She doesn't need me to baby her. And I get to tell her, you get on my nerves. I got to go. I got my sister. So I have enough people in my inner team, which is in my house, that they allow me to get away. And I'm grateful for it. But unfortunately, more people don't have that.
Right. And that's a blessing. But let me ask you this, Stormy. I noticed over the last year, you've really been walking down a new path of authenticity. You've always been real, 100% real. But I've noticed that now you are really going through a transformation, and you're like, accept me as who I am. I mean, talk to us a little bit about that journey, and how did that come about?
The greatest place to live on earth is in a place of freedom. Free to be and do what you choose to be, with integrity and love. For many years, I tried to fit the mold of what the world says I'm supposed to fit. And I realized that a lot of people didn't like me. And then now I'm living in my truth, and a lot of people don't like me. So I realized, damn if you do, damn if you don't. To thy own self be true. And so I find it more rewarding and more fulfilling. And I'm happy with me. Like, I like me as a person. There was times where I didn't like to be by myself. There was times where I used to have to be on a phone. Now I don't want to be on a phone. Now I don't want to hang with anybody else. I like my company. And so I've realized that being authentic, number one, makes you embrace who you are. And then number two, there's not a lot of African-American women out there from my background that share some of my similar walkings of life that can speak from where I can speak. So I love to be my true authentic self, because I feel as if another woman, even a man, could look at me and say, well, damn, look at where she come from. She even talk like me. She even look like me. Man, she dressed like me. But you telling me this girl is a multi-millionaire? Wait a minute. So if I take on the inner liking of those people that are up here that have already arrived, that may be from, I don't care what descent they may be from. How am I going to capture my people who don't even know that I used to be just like them? So I fight very hard. I listen to trap music a lot. I like to go to strip clubs still, because I don't want to lose what makes me so special, which is I could cuss your ass out, pray with you, prophesy to you, and give you a lesson on how to live a better life and how to fulfill your dreams, how to manifest, how to declare. And I could tell you what part of my butt to kiss if I needed to do that too. Still growing in my authenticity. That's the difference. And I think when a person gets there, like, I'm very aware of my temper. I'm very aware that I may say things that may rub you the wrong way. But guess what? You'll never forget me. And I'm always going to say something that when I leave you, you're going to wake up. Something on the inside of you that's been sleeping is going to wake up. And it's very important that I say it in a way in which your soul can receive it. So authenticity has worked for me. And I believe if I would have not walked into this place of who I am, I would not have the networks calling, trying to sign deals with me. Opportunities coming to me that never would have came before. People know my name because guess what? Well-behaved women, they don't make history. So I choose to be authentic, real. So my people could look at me and say, wait a minute, you used to be broke too? Wait a minute, you had a teenage child too? You used to file bankruptcy and Section 8 and WIC and 2, and you, wait a minute. So if you could do that, so God do that for me too. So I want to be that girl. If I could do it, you can do it too.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it, Stormy, that I love, because the reality of it is everybody has an excuse. They make excuses up for themselves as to why they can't do this. I can't do that because of this. I can't do what you do as a representation of who you are and how you live. You remove all excuses from anybody. If you were able to do it and succeed, then you sitting back with your PhDs or whomever else is making excuses that I have kids in college and I can't do this, I can't follow my dreams because of that, I can't do this. You remove those layers of excuses and allow. And this is the other thing I think that's so important, is that I believe that, you know, from a God-sent perspective, it's needed, because individuals that you're referring to, they're not going to automatically relate to a Tony Robbins, right? If you're sitting at home and you have 4 kids that are hungry, you're on Section 8 and in welfare, you're not going to automatically think that Tony can help you, because you're going to assume that you can't relate to Tony, right? But when these same individuals, you become a vessel to that knowledge, because they see you, they can relate to you, they know your background, and they said, okay, if it worked for her, it can work for me too. And so to me, there's a whole group of people out there, what you can call lost or forgotten or silent or quiet or whatever the case may be, that people have written off. And what you're doing, Stormy, is bringing voice and bringing life back to those people. And I think it's so important. It's so, so important, because that could have been me. That could have been anybody else on this line right here. And that's one of the reasons, for those who know me, they know I'm always screaming Shell Road. That's where I'm from, Hampton, Virginia. But I always remember exactly where I'm from, my background, and I'm very conscious that it was because of the grace of God as to why I'm here. Now, not anything different, not anything special, but specifically because of that. Now, Stormy, as we started talking about some of your growth opportunities, I noticed just recently you started to diversify your overall portfolio. I think many people know about you from ISOT, but I just see most recently CBD and things, and I see that you've also been talking about restaurants and your author. Talk to us a little bit about the importance of having multiple streams of income and why and how that came to be.
Well, we all have heard for decades, you know, never put all your eggs in one basket. And that's something that just permeates my mind. It echoes loud that why would you just depend on one thing? And everything has its seasons. And so my number one stream of income comes through multi-level marketing. I do 50,000 plus a week average. So that's been consistent for the past 4 years. And because of that, I've been able to take that money and invest it. I mean, obviously, we know you don't want all your money sitting in the bank. That's stupid. The interest is nothing. So my first investment was, of course, I paid off my house. So that's an asset. I have some property, commercial property that I bought in Detroit. And so I just opened up a business called CBD and Things, because I totally believe in health and wellness and overall well-being. A lot of people, period, black, white, every ethnic background, does not know the medicinal value and just the health benefit and the well-being that's caused by, obviously consuming or using CBD. So I tapped into that through many different channels. Through my network marketing company is one way. And I also have my own CBD line. I have smokable CBDs. You can now smoke CBD. It's not THC, it's CBD. You could also rub CBD on. You could take CBD drops. So I got that. Then I actually am also like an angel investor. People have come to me as like a hard money lender. So I have a division of my business called Wealth Connection, where I finance some properties for people, and I'm their bank. And so for years I've been speaking, I'm the head and not the tail. I'm the lender and not the borrower. So that's another stream of income. I do very well with that every month. And I also have my money working for me. My money has overalls on. And that does well for me as well. I do 15, 20% return. I don't know the details of it, but I know I literally could live off of the money I earned from my investment. And then I do events. I do women's events. I'm actually doing my next event a couple months down the line. Of course, I got your event. And I also am an author. I've written about 3 books. And it's just one of the things where when you start to succeed in one particular area, God will reveal to you more of you. And when you learn how to add more value, you start to take up businesses that's not about the business, it's about the value, and it becomes you on autopilot. So, for example, my CBD business came into play really kind of by mistake. Judge Mathis reached out to me, explaining to me the Flint water crisis going on, how those people are still suffering. The water is contaminated. Kids are dying from Legionnaire's disease. Kids are having brain damage because they're drinking and taking baths with sewer water. And so I had to find a way to step in until the problem is permanently solved. So we're collecting water every day to be able to, every week, to help. Is at least 2,000 children that go to school every day in Flint, and they can't even go home and take a shower. They can't even brush their teeth with the water in their own homes. And the school has no air conditioning, so it's 90 degrees inside. So I wanted to find a way to be able to continue to contribute without having to beg for money, if that makes sense. Because I don't believe in subtracting or dividing. I believe in multiplication. And I also believe in the more you give, the more you receive. I teach people. I have a coaching group called Girl Hold My Hand, but I believe that givers gain. And I want to also teach people, when you sow a seed, it's not just in the church. Giving to these kids that have no water is a seed. So anyway, I have a business called CBD and Things, where a portion of the proceeds made is going to continue to facilitate and provide the children and the people, the senior citizens of Flint, with water. So I got my hands in multiple different things, mainly because I do agree that if you put all your eggs in one basket, what happens if 90% of the eggs break? If you don't have no more eggs in there, you ain't gonna eat. And if a man don't work, if a man don't anticipate the road ahead, a man don't eat. So
that's right. That's right. So Stormy, is CBD and Things also going to be structured as an MLM, what others can kind of join in underneath you, or are you not?
So great question. What I have got a huge influx of requests for people that want to be pretty much brand ambassadors. So what we're going to do is we're going to wholesale all of the CBD products to whomever wants to retail them. So for example, this is one of my CBD vape pens. This is blackberry CBD. You'll be able to buy this for wholesale and sell it for retail. So you're talking about being able to run an e-commerce business online, do vending opportunities. We got liquid CBD that you could drink. We got CBD drops. So depending on the person, if they just want to sell the smokable CBDs, then they could buy from wholesale, buy the wholesale and sell it for retail. If they want to sell some of the detox teas, because we got detox teas and all that, then they would have to join the MLM. But it just depends on what that person is looking for in terms of a business. However, I want to say this though. Many people don't know that CBD is going to be a $16+ billion business by 2025. Many people, especially in our community, don't realize that artificial intelligence, AI, is coming to take over 70% of all jobs are going to be gone in the next 7 to 10 years due to artificial intelligence, smartphones and smart technology. So I want to encourage everybody. I don't care what you do. Please diversify. Homelessness going, homeless shelters are being built at 90 going north. You're talking about jobs are downsizing and replacing you with computers. So I believe that everybody should be open right now to finding other ways to make money, or they're going to be in trouble.
Right. And that's the whole point of the EPI conference. People need to open their minds and be ready for the change and the shift. Let me ask you this too, Stormy. Hopefully you'll be able to have CBD and things and so forth available at the conference too, and the expo, so that if individuals are interested in purchasing or buying or learning more about
I'm going to have the CBD products. I'm going to have Q&A. I really want to teach. I have some strategies that you're talking about. In 90 days, your life could change. And it's something that we have to do. So I'm looking forward to the connection, but the intervention that's going to happen at the epiConference, because I know what's about to happen. I paid a lot of money, Ebony, to have access to certain information that the masses don't even know exists. And I am telling you, we have to think, and we got to think different, and we got to think different faster.
Fast. Fast. Let me ask you this too, Stormy, and I appreciate you taking the time out. One of the things that also intrigued me about you is that you told the story about how you made a lot of money. You made your first $1 million before you turned 30, and then you lost it all, and you were able to rebuild to a point of where you are right now. What, without giving away all of the key details, because most people will learn most of this stuff at the conference, but what do you think some of the biggest things that have happened in your life that you would say are most important to being able to repeat your success? What do you think how do you think you were able to do that?
Number one, you got to put God first in everything that you do. I'm not, to the public eye, I'm not religious. Like, I don't go to church every Sunday. I don't go to last time I've been to church was about maybe a month ago. I was so happy to be in Dallas, and I went to the Potter's house. I don't go to church every Sunday. I don't read the Bible every day. But you know what I know? I know biblical principles. I know universal law. I live my life, Ebony, on a universal law. I wrote a book because I know Black people are not readers. Give me one of my books, Manaya. I wrote a book called The 9 Laws of Success, and I want to be able to bring some of my books to your event too, to give them away and just give them away to people. But we don't understand how important it is that we have principles, the law of reciprocity, the law of honor, understanding, the golden rule, understanding the more you give, the more you receive, understanding your attitude determines your altitude, understanding the law of patience and persistence. Like, people don't understand how many times I had to stop and say to myself, Lord, are you really allowing me to experience this? And it all boils down to the things that I've done to create the results that I have. And it ain't all hard work. It's principles, right? Every year I come up with a new mantra. Like, this is one of my mantras: fight. Because everything I say in terms of where I am, nothing comes to me easy. But if you fight, faith, intentional living, gratitude, happiness, true love, and you have principles as the foundation of who you are, oh my God, like, don't steal, don't lie, don't manipulate. So it's so many things that I get excited about, because I know now that I would never be broke another day in my life. Not because I'm the biggest hustler, not because I'm the #1 network marketer in the world, but because I live my life on principles.
And affirmations. One thing I noticed about you, Stormy, is that you wake up every morning and you speak life into yourself.
Every day.
I don't think people understand how powerful their words are. Not even just your thoughts, but the words that come out of your mouth. The transition of how you speak about yourself and your surroundings and who you are and your expectation of a life changes. It's a mindset shift. I talk a lot, Stormy, about the fact that I don't care how many schools you go to. I don't care how many degrees, how many books you read, who you get to know, what all the conferences you go to. If you do not shift your mindset, growth will not happen. It just will not happen. So Stormy, talk to us a little bit about the affirmations and how did you start that? Was that something that you just, bumped into? Did you learn that from some of your coaches? How did that come to be?
So what started it is, of course, we all know, as a man thinking in his heart, so is he. I started to really get to a place that I was in a really bad depression, Ebony. I was depressed for 3.5 years when my mom died. And I got fat. I started to age. It's like I aged overnight. I had no life. I just was dry and dull and bored. And I started to listen to CDs, and I went to conferences. And the first time I heard it was from Tony Robbins, pretty much. Of course, I heard the pastor say it in a certain way, but the way I heard it from the pastor, I didn't understand it the way Tony Robbins broke it down, And so I went to this little event years ago. This was when I was depressed. Somebody gifted me a ticket, and I remember sitting in the audience with all of these white people, and somebody, me and 5 other black people, and I'm sitting there like, what am I doing here? I felt so uncomfortable. But Tony Robbins started talking about jumping up and down, and how when you jump up and down, it sends endorphins to your brain that makes you feel good. Then he started talking about how when you speak certain things, and I remember him speaking different mantras and declarations, and it opened me up. And I was so depressed. I went home that night because I didn't have money to leave. I really wanted to leave the event because I felt stupid. Like, what am I doing here with all these stupid white people? I felt uncomfortable. This is the truth. And I left that day, and the 2 things I took home was affirmations and jumping up and down. And I was depressed, and I had nothing else to do to change my state. So I said, let me figure out what can I do to change my life. So I just tried it. And every day I would speak. I would hear the voice of the Holy Spirit within. I would lead and not follow. I would create and not destroy. I would just I would go in. I would jump up and down. I move. And I looked up, and every day I felt myself getting stronger. And then I started speaking out. I am the voice. Everything I touch turns to gold. Happy. 2019. I started speaking stuff, and it started happening in my life. And so I started to learn the true essence of how to speak in order to attract it. So you can speak all you want, but it's not just the speaking that's creating the attractive power. It is the speaking and the knowing in your heart. So as a man speak it in his heart, as a man think it. So my whole life is a declaration, an affirmation, a mantra, an incantation. I speak those things that are not every day. And we heard this in the church. You speak those things that are not as though they were, right? And you speak a thing, and when the world was created, what did God say? Let there be light, and bam, there was light. Let there be. So the world was created with words. So you got to watch how you talk to yourself. I talk to myself real good. I'm a queen. There's nothing I can't have. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I am a money magnet. I'm a walking vault. Successful entrepreneurs look for me every day. They want to give to me. They want to pour into me. There are people right now in high places writing a check to Stormy Wellington, to Wealth Connection Global. People are looking for me, and right now in high places talking about me, saying I need that girl. So I say that all the time to myself, because if I don't believe in it and I don't speak it, who else going to do it for me? Nobody. It is my responsibility.
That's right.
It is my duty and my responsibility to create my life. And if God can create the world with words, and I am made in his image and in his likeness, then I could speak the same things and create too.
That's right. That's right. And this is the thing too, guys. Just to remind you that the conference, if you guys are getting excited right now, you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay. The conference is October 25th through the 27th. And Stormy is our keynote speaker. She's going to be talking about the footprints of a self-made multimillionaire, the footprint. So if you are trying to learn the key principles and understand some of the key tech and have an opportunity to ask those questions, one thing about the EPI conference is not a situation where people are sitting up front, bragging about how much material things they have. Look at me, look at me, look at me, and talk about that. It's very it's set up in a classroom type environment where you guys can ask the questions. You guys can, it's a back and forth communicative approach, so that if you have issues, problems, questions that you're facing in your business, the folks that are standing before you are certified. They can answer. I didn't choose anybody that could not answer those questions. And also doing the Coinology think tank later that day, some of you guys, a few lucky people in the audience will have an opportunity to present your business in front of some of the masters in that room and get some real hardcore feedback as to why your business isn't succeeding. What do you need to do to change? I mean, some of us don't realize that we stand in our own way for not being successful. The conference is 2.5 days. It's Friday night, we have a reception, a meet and greet, but Saturday and Sunday is full conference days, October 25th through the 27th in Atlanta, Georgia. And I am so excited about Stormy Wellington being our keynote speaker. If you guys are looking for more information on the conference as we're talking, it's at www.theepiconference.com. And again, make sure to put the in front of EPI conference, so you'll end up at the wrong conference and you won't see Stormy in Atlanta, because you'll be at the wrong place. But Stormy, one more thing I wanted to ask you about before you close out. One of the things that I think is so paramount, I saw maybe a few months ago, you had made a post about shifting your mind about material things. I saw that you were putting a lot of things in a safe deposit box, and you were talking about you learned something shifted in your mind about how we as African Americans view cars and jewelry and all the things that do not they're not assets. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think one of the things I want to make sure that the EPI conference does, I want everybody to leave there different than they did when they came in there, learning things and shifting your mindset. What made you change your opinion about some of the material things?
Well, first of all, I mean, the truth is, when you start making real money and you can buy whatever you want, you kind of buy it. And it gets to a point where the stuff is not even important no more. I think, we feel like when you get money, I'm going to buy this and buy that. But I promise you, once you start making money, that stuff gets old. You then start to buy it because you have to, because it's kind of part of your uniform, right? But somebody has stole my car. I have 2 Rolls Royces. Well, I had 2 Rolls Royces. My first Rolls Royce, Wraith, got stolen. And again, beyond my control. And then my second Rolls Royce got stolen. And so I just kind of woke up one day and got on this little mad tangent and just put all my jewelry, in a safe deposit box for a little while. But you know what? The truth is, I like nice stuff, Ebony. I like nice bags and I like nice shoes, but I also like to put money in the bank. I like to pay my taxes. I like to serve my community. I like to invest. But I like nice stuff, and so that kind of went away. However, it's not just it's not just the money. It's not just the materialistic stuff. I'm not defined by it no more. Like, I used to have to put on my jewelry, and I used to have, extra stuff. It's like, no, I don't even really care about it. A lot of the stuff that I have, I already owned it, but I don't have to have it every day. I don't even need any more jewelry. If something comes to me, it's probably gonna be a gift, because I'm more so focused on being the voice, not necessarily the visual, but the voice. However, here's what I learned about our people, Ebony. If they can't look at you, they don't want to listen to you. So because my demographic is somewhere around the age of like 25 to maybe like 60, for real, when you do my demographics, but you need to be lookable. I need to look a certain kind of way to really be able to captivate the audience that I'm looking for. And I'm only looking for that audience because it makes me feel great knowing that I said something to that girl who could have been a teenage mom, but she's not. I'm so happy that I could speak to that woman who might have given up on herself because she feels as if she's in an abusive relationship, or she's too old, or she's too fat, or she's not educated enough, or she's not classy enough. So I like to keep my little bling bling, my little stuff, because I like it, but I don't need it. It does not define me as a woman. My cars, I don't want no more. I'm not buying any more luxury cars. You hear me? Like, that is one thing I have 2 Rolls Royces stolen. Okay, I don't need no more luxury cars. Okay, I'm over the cars. They begin to attract kind of the wrong things, if you know what I mean. So
definitely know that. Let me say this to everybody that's on the line. If you go to the website www.theepiconference.com tonight, if you use the code Stormy, you'll get 20% off on your ticket. So make sure you go out there, use the word Stormy, and get 20% off. Stormy, you have a question out here, and if you guys have questions for Stormy, this is the perfect time to ask. We have someone out here to ask if you could talk a little bit about losing some friendships as you elevated. Did you find that you lost a lot of friendships as you elevated?
The truth is, there are some people that I would have bet my life on that will be here today. Like, you have no idea. To that person that had this question, there's some people that just can't go with you to the next phase of your life. And it's not a bad thing. They can't go with you, and guess what? You ain't supposed to be with them. And so I look at relationships that have expired now as my season is up in their life and their season is up in my life. And it doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make them a bad person. We no longer have anything to give each other. And when you start to accept that and you embrace that and you allow it to be more so a experience for you versus you holding on, I think the peace is in the release. I think we tend to hold on to what was, and oh my gosh, she did this and he did that, and I can't believe, and we spent so much time together. We have so many memories together, and I can't believe. We're so busy harping and dwelling on what was, baby. What was don't matter. It's about what is. So the quicker you're able to let go and let God and recognize that the peace is in a release, I think that's the faster you get over what is no longer in existence. So I believe that relationships, unfortunately, they do expire. I don't like spoiled milk. I don't like spoiled chicken. I don't even eat chicken anymore. I don't like nothing spoiled. When it's over with, it's time to be done with. So let it go and move on. Yes, I have been very hurt by people that I've helped make a lot of money. And it seems like the people you help the most is the ones that hurt the most. People who I thought would have died for me. Seriously. People who I thought would have been there till I died. We no longer have no dealings. And it does hurt, but you got to learn to let it go and move on.
You know, one of the things I will say, Stormy, I am very thankful for the most painful period in my life, because that one particular period in my life actually is what shifted me. It forced me into my destiny. So even though it was very painful, and when I think back on it, I am very thankful that it happened. So those that are sitting in that space right now, understand that it's not necessarily the person. Sometimes, you know, not sometimes, all the time, God uses different people to get you to your destiny. And you have to be thankful for that opportunity. Whatever that time is up, the time is up. Whether it's a husband, as a best friend, as a sister, as a cousin, whatever, you have to be willing and ready to move on. I'm trying to see, anybody else have any questions out there? This is your opportunity. I know most of you guys watch Stormy a lot on Instagram Live, and most times you're watching her. This is an opportunity for you guys to actually ask a few questions before we close out and get ready for the conference. Again, as you guys are asking your questions, the conference website is www.theepiconference.com. Again, Stormy Wellington will be our keynote speaker. And if you guys are amazed tonight, I am so excited about her at October 25th through the 27th. Someone asked, someone said, loving the knowledge, thankful. Yes, it does hurt. Stormy, anything else before we close out that you want to share with those that are watching, knowing that most of the people that are watching right now are either entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, and they're looking to you to help them put the pieces together?
Take your rightful place. There's so much more that all of us can be doing. Don't let fear, don't let doubt, don't let lack of resources, don't let what you experienced in your past define who you are today. Know that how you start is not how you have to finish, but you're going to have to be willing to, I call it ADD, which number one, the A is be aware of who you are. You're in a particular place in your life for a reason. Are you in a holding tank? Are you in a place of it's time to grow? Are you in a place of it's time to stop? Are you in a place of it's time to shift? We oftentimes forget to look introspect. We're so busy all the time, spending time figuring out who doing this and who doing that and what other people are doing. We really very rarely take the time to say, you know what? If it's meant to be, it's up to me. There's some shifting that I need to do. There's some revisions that I need to do. There's some attitude adjustments that I need to take within myself. I need to do better because it ain't always everybody else's fault. Some of the things we are creating on our own. And so I just want to encourage you to take the time out to look introspect. Stop thinking that everything is not for you or it's not because of you. Some things you are creating on your own. And I had to do that for myself. And when I did it, it caused me to literally like write a checklist and recognize what I had to do, which is decide, right? When I was a little girl, people used to say, you got ADD, you always all over the place. And, and I used to believe this. And it became very crippling and handicapping for me because I thought that ADD meant something was wrong because I can't focus on one thing. And so it began to consume my mind. And I began to think, man, if I can't focus because I can't do nothing. So the D is in the ADD now because I've learned to, when you change the way you look at things, things suddenly begin to change. We got to stop looking at things like it's all bad or even it's all good. And so the D means decide. Decide what areas of your life you could make some adjustments in. You know, is it your weight? Is it your self-esteem? Is it your self-worth? Is it your lack of discipline? Is it your procrastination? Is it your doubt? Is it your fear? You know, what is it? Is it your ego? Okay. So decide. And then the third letter is the D. Decide to divide. What is it that you got to do away from? You know, we oftentimes take on these habits that we think, you know, we can't live without, but we got to be willing to change. And we got to be willing to not give up. I believe that if you still have breath in your body, there's still more for you to do. Don't give up. Don't get weary. Don't get discouraged. Don't get complacent. Decide that it's your time. Make sure you meet me at the epiConference. If I've never met you, it's one thing to meet me face to face. It is another thing to see me online. And with all the humility in my heart, everything I touch turns to gold, baby. And so come to the epiConference. Bring your business. Bring your biggest fears. Bring your biggest doubts. And by the time you step up in the room with me, you are going to believe that you are with a capital P, Ebony, fuckwithable. And I teach you what unfuckwithable means when I meet you at the epiConference. So thank you so much for having me. I'm always blessed.
Thank you
to share my story.
Thank you so much.
And I hope somebody got inspired tonight. Even if it's one person, I hope somebody got inspired. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stormy. Thank you everyone for joining. And I look forward to seeing you guys October 25th through the 27th at the EPI conference. See you guys next time. Thank you, Stormy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.